Welcome back to the Voices of Pueblo, brought to you by the Pueblo Star Journal. We have the privilege to host Angelica and Ana Palacios' podcast, La Pura Verdad. Today is episode 3, The Generational Domino Effect. This episode is brought to you by Rocky Mountain Realty, Pueblo's largest independent real estate agency. Rocky Mountain Realty is a locally owned and independently operated company. You can call them at 719-582-6191 or check out their website at rockymountainrealty.biz. The Pueblo Star Journal thanks Rocky Mountain Realty for supporting nonprofit news in Pueblo, Colorado. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the Pueblo Star Journal. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service by the Pueblo Star Journal or its affiliates. The Pueblo Star Journal name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, who reserves all rights. The content herein is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice in any manner, and the Pueblo Star Journal hereby disclaims all liability arising directly or indirectly from any use of this content.
Hola, mi gente. Welcome to our podcast. I'm your host, Angelica Palacios.
And I'm your co-host, Ana Palacios.
And you're listening to La Pura Verdad.
Wow. Episode 2.
Okay. Generational traumas. That's the topic of this episode.
Super excited.
We're really excited to get into this one. I don't know. Last episode we talked about how I cope.
For sure.
I haven't found out how I cope yet with machismo, okay? I really haven't. Traumas, and we'll get more into when we get deep into the episode, but I don't know if you can vouch for this for me, but I feel like I've gotten more in tune with my emotions.
Oh, girl.
So now 100%. I really do realize like when I'm like, something's really affecting me. And
how you react to it.
How I react to it. Like I'm doing better.
Did you know that's all rooted deep in your generational traumas? I know. It is. Thank you, sister. Thank you for recognizing me.
Yes, let's do it. So, we just want to make sure that we do as always and let you guys know that every episode we want to make clear that these stories and real life experiences are only our own. Mm-hmm. Please understand that these experiences may be triggering to some, but we are here to talk and relate.
Super big on the safe zone.
Yes, super big. Remember, we will always say we are here to see if your verdad is similar to our verdad. Okay, we're really here to relate and to create this really safe zone for everyone to be able to come and listen. And when I sit and I listen to podcasts, here's the thing. When I sit and I listen to podcasts, one thing that keeps me really stuck to a podcast is if I can relate. I've sat at work before and I've cried to podcasts that I've listened to about similar topics, about, how they cope with it, like situations that they've been through.
Yeah.
And honestly, to some, like I said, that's why we give that disclaimer. It's triggering to some. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It triggers a part of me that makes me really emotional and sad. And I've cried at my desk at work. But, it's like
Same.
because you really do relate to that.
For sure.
So,
well, with that being said, sis, we might cry a little bit. Yeah. But let's get into it. So what is generational trauma? It is when the impact of a traumatic event isn't limited to the person who directly experienced it. It can also influence their children, grandchildren, and even their community. Hence why it is called generational traumas, because it happens over generations.
Exactly. So what does it look like to us? What does generational traumas look like to us?
I got this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Packed, girl. This was the first topic me and my therapist really dug deep into, because I was like, yo, when it really hit when abuelito came to live with us. When abuelito came to live with us for those couple of times. So for anybody who doesn't know, and we did mention this, I do believe, but our father is an immigrant from Mexico. Mm-hmm. And our mom is States born. She was born in Denver, Colorado, but she is Puerto Rican and Mexican. And then that makes us, right? And so Mexican in the house, Nonetheless, though, Dad went through a lot as a kid.
Yeah,
right?
I can only imagine.
Yeah, he told us a lot of stories. I think I realized seeing how Abuelito Artemio, when he came to the States, was very the word for it can't be culture shocked. It's not even that, but
I mean, he could have been.
He could have been, right?
United. It's two different places. I mean, that's just the truth.
You know what it is? Yes, okay, and that's for another episode. I will say that. However, when he came and he would do things like not be able to sit down, he had to be working. I was like, that's where Dad gets it from.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Dad does not, even on days off, guys, I'm not kidding you, he will find any little thing to do to just not
be sitting. And guys, let me tell you, that's all stems from the generational trauma that they endured. They went through very hard times in history where there was no money. No monies for them. And so they worked a lot. I think Dad said he only went to the 6th grade, and that was like barely.
Yeah. And then he dropped. He even said that he would go to school and he would leave and he would go work, and he would work so late in the labores that he would still
the fields.
He would still go to school the next day, like, and he would be just so exhausted, and the teachers would be like, we can literally tell that you're so tired, like, just go home.
But isn't that but do you see the difference with that? Okay, I'm a teacher, right? And this is going to be a quick little 20 seconds, okay? But now that's so interesting that you say that, because we are conditioned to just be so hard on these kids. Nowadays, it's not. We're like, okay, we need to be there for them. Some. I want to say some.
Can't speak for all,
I will speak for me and others that I know are similar, right? Which we really want to understand these kids and their hardships. And so to say that when Dad was in school in the 80s and teachers were like, I know you just had been working, because they know who my abuelito is, like, that's so crazy.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And so I think that's another thing too, why he makes us value education so deeply.
Yeah. So can we talk about, like, now that you just mentioned that, like, generational traumas, not all of them were negative. And what I mean by this is hard workers.
Ooh.
Because of what we just talked about, how our dad was working from when he was literally 12 years old to now.
Earlier.
Yeah, earlier than that to now. Like, that is so insane to sit here and to just think about that. But then you go back and you look and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a hard worker. And anybody will say this. Our cousins have told our parents before, like, we are such hard workers because we see it, we get it from our dad. Like, generational traumas. But that's, like, not a negative trauma. It's a positive trauma. So, I mean, that kind of just shedded light to me, too. And I was just, like, mind-blowing, like, poof, because, like, when you hear the word trauma, you think of just automatic negatives. Like,
right.
It's such a bad thing, like, traumas. But that's, like, something that I'm really happy that I have
proud of
from my father. Because it's like, dang, like, because of you, like, I get up every morning, maybe tired as heck to go to work, but I'm going to still go do it because...
And, dude, I think we always, and the work we put into things are always at our most, I won't even say 100, but the most we can give is what we're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something I saw from Dad, because I'm like, regardless if my dad is tired, if he's sick, he's going to give 100. My abuelito Artemio, 100.
Oh my gosh, yes. Just a side note, like, what she just said about being sick and stuff like that, that man has been so sick. Like, we don't even know what he has or what it is that he has, but he is so sick, literally, and hasn't been able to work, and he's going crazy. He's, like, locked up in the house, and he's, like, going crazy. And that's another generational trauma. Dude, because that's my dad. My dad is the same way. He cannot stay still. They always need to be doing something, regardless. Like, they can feel like the most absolute, like, terrible.
Well, can I tell you something? Something I've just recently discovered about myself.
What?
So I also have that issue. And I'm pretty sure I can't relax when I'm...
Do you feel bad when, like, you can't?
Dude, oh my God.
Like, I'll be sick on my deathbed and I'm like, I can't go to work.
I need to be
but
up doing something.
Yeah, and I'm up and I'm like, I gotta go to work.
Yeah, but you know what? Something I've been healing, a trauma that I've been healing is if I'm off, I'm off. And that means, like, doing what my body needs for it to relax. Like, I don't overbook. I don't
That's something I need to work
yeah,
on.
girl, you do.
I really do overbook myself.
Yeah, and I don't.
I get that from dad. Oh my gosh.
Hello. He'll go from one job, y'all, to another one that he gets freelanced on the side, self-freelance. And then if that person puts out the word, he'll go check out a job at another place. And then at a certain point, his free time is on Sundays, like for a couple of hours before he starts prepping for work. Like that. I think that is that right there is like what generational trauma, dude, just that hustle culture. Like we have it. And you know, again, very, very blessed to say so, because it could be the other way around where it's like they were never expected to do any of that. You know what I mean? They didn't have to.
Yeah.
And so though it comes with baggage and a lot of, you know, traumas that our family members and us may have endured, so happy, you know, very happy.
Yeah, that's very true. And what traumas will we not carry on? I really think that when we speak about machismo and what really brought this podcast all together, I think one thing that I refuse to have and to carry on is
toxic masculinity.
Yes, toxic masculinity for sure. And we're gonna get deeper into it in the next episode. Sorry, oh my gosh, about gender roles and cultural norms. Is like, just, I guess, and I tell mom this all the time. They were never bad parents. Okay, never bad parents
Cannot
whatsoever. Blessed every day for everything that they have done for me.
Today's episode of Voices of Pueblo is brought to you by Rocky Mountain Realty. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, looking to sell, or considering an investment, Rocky Mountain Realty is your local partner in real estate success. You can visit their website at rockymountainrealty.biz, B-I-Z, or stop by their office at 201 North Main Street in Pueblo to experience the difference for yourself.
Even though our parents are so hard on us, like, girl, I'm 21 and I still got a curfew of 10 p.m. Please, like,
I'm gonna take my period back because I hated it so much.
Oh my gosh, like, it sucks. But you know what? I used to get so upset. I used to get so mad at my parents. But I then sit back and I think about all the things that I have done in my life and how I took some very bad decisions, made some very bad decisions back in the day.
For sure.
That if I wouldn't have had the parents like mom and dad, I probably would not be where I am today.
Oh, girl.
And that's like not necessarily a trauma that I want to carry on, but like I just want to like be more open with my own children the day that I have them. Like, make my kids feel comfortable to come to me and tell me like, oh, mom, this. Oh, mom, like this. Because one thing that
mom, though, oddly enough, was like that. No, but she was like that. Mom would be like, just tell me.
Right.
Come to me.
Right. But also, again,
on the other side, it's really hard. Like, and it sucks that we have to lie sometimes. For sure. To go and do things that we want to do. Right.
Because, like, we're not allowed to go do it. Like, it sucks when you have to miss out on things that your friends are doing because you don't want to ask your parents for money or because you, like, just already know the answer is going to be no.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Or you, like, can't go out with your friends because you just, like I said, you don't have money. And that's how it was. And, like, I refuse to carry on, like,
being scared to approach
your parents because our dad also was very vocal with us that like he would be scared to approach his parents in certain situations too.
For sure. And I mean mom with Grammy, so I think we prefaced that my father grew up with his mother and his father who were married and they have all his siblings are, you know, it's a very nuclear household. Okay? Right. My mom grew up in a very untraditional. She was raised by her grandmother. Well, Biggie Grams. And so
she didn't have that father figure who gave her a structure.
For sure.
Not to say that she didn't have one, but she has also told us herself she didn't really have rules implicated on her. She honestly did what she really wanted to do because she didn't have that. Not necessarily that it always has to be a father figure doing that, but in a Latino culture, it's always the dad who's the one that puts the rules on. With, I will say, girls and boys, but, and we'll get into this in the next episode because, baby,
gender roles.
I got so much to say about that because my 2 younger siblings have had a very different experience with
their childhood
compared to how my sister and I have. And that's just that's like girls and boys. Regardless of like whatever, it will always be different.
Oh, for sure, girl.
It will always be different.
Let me tell you the gender role. Not the gender role, girl. I'm ready for the next episode, obviously.
Relax.
The generational trauma, girl, that I refuse to carry on.
Yeah.
Is honestly the way I talk to and I don't want to say my kids because I'm not even sure I want kids, but the way I talk to children.
Yeah.
Because you want to know something, and I think I learned this from my early childhood education class. Girl, kids cannot handle that right now. I'm
21 years old and I can't handle it.
If mom yelled at me right now in this moment, I would be bawling my eyes out.
Let me tell you something, and I always tell mom and dad this. I would rather sometimes
be beaten.
Have my kids. I'm not gonna say the word beaten.
Oh my God, my bad, y'all.
But I would rather my parents, my dad, hit me or like spank me or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put it in such a negative, because guys, I don't get beat, but like, just
nor
like,
do we condone.
I would rather him like really just like give me a little slap, you know, than to verbally say some of the things that are said. Like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. Like, whoever made that's lies. They hurt. Like, the words that they say, they hurt. And sometimes it really leaves you with like how you're like, oh my gosh, like, is that really? And I relate with you on that one.
It's very psychologically not okay.
I will praise.
I don't have the words for it, but
I will praise my kids. I will make sure I am like aware of their accomplishments.
Yeah.
I will definitely let them know like, hey, what you did wasn't okay. Like, we'll talk through it.
Yeah.
But like, let's talk through it and let's not yell, because one thing I've noticed is that I am my father's daughter.
Oh girl.
I am copy and paste of my dad. So some of the things that we talk about, I'm like, oh my gosh, you also do that. So like,
that's something you gotta fix, girl.
Like, I think it's important that like I notice, like I said in the beginning, like I'm more in tune with my emotions in terms of like, I know now, like sometimes I can't have a conversation or explain something without raising my voice.
For sure.
And like I catch myself. Maybe too late, but the good thing is that I even catch myself.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Or you know what? I can really truly say this about you. You apologize.
I do.
You used to not, which is something that you got from dad, because he does not. He's the worst at apologizing.
Oh, that's another thing that trauma I will not carry on.
No,
I will apologize to my kids.
If you do respectfully, I think just as a human, if you do anything to hurt another human, especially if it was unwarranted on their end, regardless, you should apologize, because you never know what that person's going through.
Yeah,
it's just. Again, like those words stick, and they stick heavily, and that's what really makes you, because again, at least this sounds so bad. I think of like the one time I've been like tapped on the shoulder. Girl, we didn't get hit, but like getting tapped on the shoulder and being like, oh my gosh, that stung a little bit, but then the sting goes away, and then I'm like, genuinely, I'd be like, okay, whatever, I'm fine. Nah, afterwards, I would sit there for a minute and be like, dang, is that really how I am? Is that who I am? Like, and so, I just won't carry that.
And I think it hurts even more because it's like the people who you highly think of so much. Personally, and correct me if I'm wrong, I had to teach Anna how to not care so much about what my parents thought of her.
Oh, girl, because it used to hurt. It still does, but
what's that book called? I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter.
Oh yeah, I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. Yeah,
Anna wanted to be the perfect Mexican daughter. She felt like she had to be it, and I was like the rebellious younger sister who was like, I'm gonna do what I want to do,
which is crazy because I'm the only sibling with tattoos and piercings.
Right, and I'm not. But like I was the rebel. And it's like I would always tell her like, you just have to stop caring at some point about what they think, because regardless, like, of whatever you do that isn't what they want you to do, it's gonna hurt their feelings.
Oh, for
and
sure.
And sometimes you don't want to do what they want you to do. Like, Dad wants us to go to school, and he wants us to be a doctor. Every day I get asked, well, what are you gonna do with your degree?
Respectfully,
and I'm like,
are you gonna go to med school for me? Because
and here's another thing that I would like to say. And if you want me to go to school for a specific thing, then find the money to pay for my education. Or give into my education. I'm graduating a semester early. I've put myself through college and everything. Like,
period.
Not necessarily do you not have a say-so to tell me what to do, but it's like, if you want me to do what you want me to do, then put in.
Ooh, another generational trauma. Okay. One more really quick, which is, I will not tell my kids how to live their lives.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a big believer that every person makes decisions on their own based off of how they want to live their life.
Everything happens for a reason.
And you know what? Exactly. And even as children, yes, even as adults, I don't care. We can be swayed, right? People can get our minds to change, but ultimately we are the ones who make the decisions. Mm-hmm. And so if my child or whoever chooses to make that decision, that was a thing they did, not me. So I'm gonna follow that along. But I just had to fit that one in because that one was good, girl.
So how do we cope?
Therapy.
I think we coped. Therapy. Yeah, that's one of the big ones for
each other. Talking to each other. Because I was like, oh my gosh, you understand me, sis? Like, you get this?
And you know what I think too? Coping is us sitting here and talking about it.
Yeah.
And also, it's us realizing that we refuse to carry on those traumas.
Period.
And we're gonna leave it at that.
All right, y'all.
Gender roles and cultural norms are up next.
Up next, y'all.
Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 2.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Voices of Pueblo, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Realty. Rocky Mountain Realty invites you to experience the power of community with their local brokers. They have over 40 local real estate agents ready to help you with all of your real estate needs. You can call them at 719-582-6191 or check out their website at rockymountainrealty.biz. That's .biz. Thank you so much for listening.